Next is, what are your resources? You know, you gather help. Don't do it alone. If you're like me, I don't care if God says I'm ready to do it, but I had to learn to tell people also, even though some will not do it, but you still say it. It doesn't mean weak. It means that you're wise. I remember when I was young, my uncle might tell me that no man is an island. I didn't believe in that time, but as I grew older, I realized that he was true, that no man is an island. That you need help. Yeah. There's prayer. You got to have people who can pray with you in alignments, not just prayer, but people who know how to pray. There's counsel. That can put things in perspective for you. Wise counsel. Bible says, in the multitude of counselors, there's safety. In the multitude of counselors, there's safety. So get good counsel. Get a supportive community that helps you, that understands where you are, that's ready to help you, and get some rest, chill out time. Take some time out, rest, and then, try and build up your capacity. What do you have to learn? If you wanted to start a business, do you know how to do it? But somebody told me that, what, I want to be a chef. I said, great. They go and work in McDonald's and go and work in a place where go and work in a very busy place as a chef. When you last 3 months, then come, let's talk. He says, no, I just want to go to school. I said, yes, very expensive school, very, very expensive, top schools. Sure, I'll even support you, but you must prove that you can stand the kitchen. You see, it's good to watch all these programs, Hell's Kitchen, all that stuff, and watch people making money and watch the man who wants the whole system, that the man is a celebrity chef, so he has other chefs and all that stuff. Yeah, it's great. And you see, oh, okay, I want to be a celebrity chef. Yeah, yeah, wonderful. But there is a price to pay in the kitchen. It's a price to pay in the kitchen. You want to be a surgeon, yes. Or you want to be a cardiothoracic. Oh, you want to be a cardiothoracic. Okay, okay. So go and assist in the theater to do an ordinary operation. There's too much blood. But you can't be a cardiothoracic surgeon. You can open the chest and you can't be a cardiothoracic surgeon. I want to be a gastroenterologist. I want to be a gastro surgeon. Okay, great. All right, so go on. That man is constipated. The old man he can't pass. So go and get the poo out. Go and evacuate him. Yeah, that's doctors do that. That's part of the job. You got to evacuate. The guy is stuck and you got to manually evacuate him. I can't touch it. You want to open up a stomach and do operation, and you cannot touch and evacuate that the guy who's stuck, who all his stuff is stuck there. You want to get. My. Well, I'm just giving a good example. You can say have your lunch. Don't worry. I have my lunch. Well, I'm not having today, but I'm just saying that. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry for messing you up. But I'm saying that before you can do things, can you stand the heat of the kitchen? You know. So get skills to build up capacity and try and get systems to stabilize you as you go through life. I'm giving you life skills which people pay a lot of money to learn. Skills that you can learn, you can work with, and then you have to have an inventory of our resources. What's available. You see, use what is available first. I'm not supported. What have you used as available? What have you used as available? What are spiritual resources? What are what are your relationship with people? And what are your practical resources? Spiritual, what spiritual things do you have that helps to what what sorts of relation, there are a lot of them that you can help that are spiritually helpful, like prayer, like scripture, prayer, scripture, um, discernment, and having a faith community around you. You know, they're important that you have that. Those are scriptural things that are your resources. You have people that understand how to pray, people that understand the scripture, and they are discernment, and they're people of faith. And then in terms of relationship, you have to have people, you have to have mentors around you and trusted friends you can talk to. You have to have team support. You have to have a person that can be accountable to people. So you have to have all those things around you. It's important that you have those mentors. Sometimes you don't have friends that you can trust. Sometimes you don't have, you don't have a good team support. You don't have accountability. But then you have to do your best to get those things around. And if you have those by chance, you're blessed. If you have one or two friends you can trust, then you're spoiled. It's hard to get even just a good trusty friend. What's a trusty friend that when things are not going well, they're still there. You have friends when you have money, when it's all good, they'll be there. But when there's nothing, are they there? That's a good question. And then what are the practical resources that you have? What do you have that, what systems do you have? What are the skills around you? What do you have? Do you have a rhythm of resting? Do you need professional help? You need a counselor? You need to go from get a life coach? What do you need? Before you say you're not supported, look at your resources. So today, say, what are my resources? So just examples. What spiritual things do I have resources? What are my relationships, family, members? You know, what are my practical resources? What do I have? What do I have? And then you have to close the growth gap. Don't just survive the pressure. Let it show you where you need to grow. You see, pressure reveals the next area of growth you needed. So pressure is not always that bad. It just show that, hey, you know what? I've got to grow. I've got to grow in that area. What is the season of pain exposing to you? What skill do you need? What discipline do you need to have at this point in time? What mindset has got to mature? What support system must I build? What habits are missing? Where do I need to grow? Right now I'm in this season. What does it show me? What does it show me about my life in this season? What do I need to do about my brain, by my mindset? What habit am I missing? You know,